Having very little money and limited resources while trying to get started in property investing can be daunting, but don't let that put you off. We all started somewhere, and if you're watching this, you need to get started too. In this video, I'm going to show you my top 7 tips for getting started in property as an absolute beginner. Stick around to the end of the video as well, because I've got a little bonus gift for you from me. If you're new to my channel, my name's James, also known as Uncle James. It would help me massively if you'd hit that subscribe button and smash that notification bell. And if you get value from what I'm saying, then please do hit that like button. It really does help push this video up the YouTube algorithms and shows this video to more people like you who may be looking to get into property investing. Let's spread the word and start a new movement, people. We all remember that first day in a new class. You don't know anyone, the surroundings are unusual, and it's a daunting experience. And when the likes of fear creeps in, it can make the situation even worse. This is exactly how I felt when I first got started in property investing. I had a serious case of imposter syndrome, and the fear of the unknown almost stopped me from progressing. I simply didn't think I was good enough. So let's get started with my 7 top tips for getting started in property, a beginner's guide. Tip number 1, surround yourself with the right circle. Getting yourself around the right people can massively accelerate your success. And you've probably heard the old saying, if you surround yourself with 4 millionaires, you're bound to be the 5th. Or sit in the right group and the conversation will be different. In the early days, I would reach out to whoever I could. And we're going back before the times of Instagram, and Facebook was only just getting started. Well, who remembers that famous poke feature they used to have? Surrounding myself with the right circle of people involved me knocking on doors, and whenever I saw a renovation going on locally to me, I'd simply knock on the door and say, look, can I come in and have a look? I would also visit auction rooms, back when you were allowed in an auction room, and try and scope out who the big players were. I'd try and talk and connect with them. This is actually how I met one of the biggest Jewish property developers in North London, just by putting myself in the right place at the right time. I would even go to the extent of reading successful planning applications at the local council and try and find out who the developers were, just so I could try and meet them and expand my circle. Nowadays, with the likes of Facebook and Instagram, and of course property networking events, it's easier than ever to connect with people. You can join Facebook groups that talk about all manners of property, and with a simple click of a button, you can connect with property people across multiple social media platforms. Why not go the extra mile and pay a small fee to attend a networking event? They have them up and down the country. There's simply no excuse in this day and age not to be connecting with people. My advice, connect with people you aspire to be like, and be sure to drop them a message introducing yourself. The property community is a friendly community, so take the time to build a circle of like-minded people. And when you do attend these property networking events, smile and make sure you try and talk to as many people as possible. And don't just stand there in the corner of the room looking like a lemon. Well, tip number 2, don't be afraid to ask questions, no matter how stupid they may sound. No question is a stupid question. Be sure to ask questions and consume as much information as you possibly can. Whenever someone reaches out to me, I make it a point of trying to reply to them. I'm always reminded of the early days when help wasn't easy to come by. Remember, social media makes it so easy to ask questions now in the form of polls, questions, surveys, opinions, you name it, you can ask it. Use your social media platforms to get the information you need from well-established, trusted property folks. Tip number 3, the lunch or coffee trick, one of my old-time favorites. The lunch or coffee trick, I tend to use the lunch one over coffee more, as I generally get someone locked in for a longer period of time with their undivided attention, and I can use this to my advantage. In the early days, I did this a lot. Let me give you an example. Hey Dave, I'm passing through Southampton next Thursday and wondered if I could take you out for lunch or coffee. I value you massively and would love to ask you a few questions. Look Dave, feel free to say no if you're busy. This always worked a treat for me. Got me connected to some really well-established people. But do you really think I was passing by Southampton? Or was I actually driving all the way up there just to have lunch? Yeah, you got it. I was driving up there just so I could connect with the right people and build my circle of connections. Who doesn't love a cheeky Nando's or a Starbucks? And for the love of mankind, please make sure you pick up the bill. The cost of the lunch will save you years of hard work. Tip number 4, be clear with your goals. Try to be as focused as you can with your goals from day one. For example, if you've only got, say, £1,000 to £5,000 to get started with, You're not going to go out and buy a buy-to-let investment property. Something that might be better for you in this instance would be to consider something like a rent-to-rent, a rent-to-SA, where the upfront costs are small, but it allows you to get started. Run the rent-to-rent or SA for a few years and save up some more increased capital to use on your next investment. Equally, if you have a starting capital of 150k that your late Aunt Doris left you, then your goals might be slightly different from the person who only has 1 to 5k. Be sure to have clear goals from the start. 30-day, 60-day, 90-day and 180-day goals is a good place to start. I will talk more about goals on another video as it's a massive area to cover here all in one go. Tip number 5, don't quit your day job. There's all this hype about sacking your boss when you get into property. My advice, don't quit your job. Your job is massively valuable to you when it comes to being approved for mortgages. The lender still holds so much regard for 3 months pay slips and a full-time contract of employment. It's always easier to get a mortgage with a solid income and a contract of employment. Try and use this to your advantage and stick at it until such a time you're making so much more money from property that you no longer need to trade your time for money. Unless your strategy allows you to and you actually really enjoy your job, in which case you might as well hold on to your job. Tip number 6, invest in yourself. Education, books, podcasts, Audible, webinars, mentors, coaches, online training program. There's so much of it. With the digital world we live in nowadays, there's absolutely no excuse for you not to be investing in yourself. You can do this so easily today. A simple search on a podcast platform for property investing brings back tons of resources. In fact, go listen to every episode of my podcast, The J2 Hub, and get educated for free. I've spoken to some of the country's best investors, so you don't have to. Learn from it. Read books, or if you're like me and prefer to do 2 things at once, listen to audiobooks whilst you're in the gym. That way, your body's getting fit and your mind's getting fit. Get yourself a mentor or a coach. If you're looking to really home in on an art, or you have a clear strategy that you want to do, go and get yourself a coach that can help you get there quicker. Trading a small amount of money in return for valuable life experience and hand-holding via a mentor can massively accelerate your success. Save yourself those years by paying for the knowledge. Tip number 7, have massive self-belief. You need to believe in yourself. Tell yourself you can do this, because there will be lots of people around you telling you you can't. Whenever you decide to better yourself or do something to improve your life, there'll always be people around you that will tell you to take it easy, calm down. Why do you want to put yourself through this? Remember one thing, what you're doing in bettering yourself through property investing is something still only done by a minority of people. Not everyone gets it. Keep away from the people that say you can't and focus on developing massive self-belief. Well, that wraps up my 7 top tips for getting started in property, a beginner's guide. But as promised, I have a bonus tip for you, and that comes in the form of networking, and networking with your very own Uncle James. As a co-host of the property event, which is held on the 2nd Thursday of every month in London, as a gift to you, I will ensure complimentary drinks all night. Yes, that's right, free beers, wines and even champagne just for turning up. All you got to do is log on to thepropertyevent.co.uk and book your ticket now. Look, we do sell out this every single month, so be quick. If you enjoyed this video, you know what you need to do. Hit that subscribe button, smash that bell icon, and please do share this with someone who might benefit from it. And of course, comment below, as I do love a good natter and I promise to reply to all comments, even the ones where I get complimented by Jose for not looking 50. You, sir, are my new best friend. Thanks for watching. Until the next time, it's over and out from me.